Good morning, Trek team. Here we are again, together, exploring awesome math. I am on the Erie Canal. You can see it, and pretty soon the Erie Canal boat is coming right by, if you can see it over there. Isn't that cool? That's on the locks in Lockport, New York. I came by here and saw this piano. This is part of Lockport's Harmony in Summer, Sweet Harmony in Summer, promotion. There are pianos like this all over town where people can come and play. Whenever they want. And it got me thinking about fractions. You know that if you play piano, there are notes that you have to know. And you know that the notes have a whole note, a half note, a quarter note, an eighth note, and other notes just the same. So I started thinking, boy, fractions are everywhere, just like we've been saying. And if I were to take this one half note, and add to it one half, you know that you have to have common denominators. So if the denominators are the same, you're set to go. It's very easy. You simply have to copy that bottom denominator, and I will put it right here, and then just do the operations for the numerator at the top. 1 plus 1 is 2. However, look at that. That's an improper fraction. The top is not smaller. The numerator is not smaller than the denominator. Remember, we talked about that yesterday. So you need to what? Do you remember? I know you do. We need to drop down and divide. So I'm going to drop down and divide. 2 goes to 2 one time. 1 times 2 is 2. And that's what I got. A whole 1. Very easy to do that when you have the same fractions, the same denominators on the bottom. It's very easy. However, the reason why I came here today is to tell you, what if I had something like this? 1/4 plus 1/4. Okay, I've got the same bottom number, denominator, so I'm going to simply copy that right over here, put the 4. Can't do it, there you go. And then add the numerators. 1 plus 1 is 2. Now, you know, my students, that burns my eyes. Doesn't that burn my eyes? Definitely, because it's not reduced. You always, always, always need to reduce fractions. How do we reduce fractions? We have to find a number, a factor, that's what they call that special number, that will divide evenly into both the numerator and the denominator, both of them. And so that's why we're here today, to talk about reducing fraction. It means the same thing as lowest terms. It means the same thing as simplifying. Remember, fractions are ratios, right? And so we have what we call divisibility rules. Divisibility rules tells us ahead of time what factor, what is that number that will divide evenly into the numerator and the denominator. So I say to you, you always ask yourself after you get the answer, can a 2, a 3, a 5, or a 7 divide into both the numerator and the denominator? You have to ask yourself that question. And how do I know the answer? Very simple. Please copy this. The first one, if a number is even, that means it ends in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. You know it can be divisible by 2. So if both the numerator and the denominator end in a 0, 2, 4, 6, or an 8, you know you can divide by 2. We always say, see an even number, divide by 2. See an even number? Divide by 2. So you can never, ever, ever leave even numbers in both the numerator and the denominator. What about 5? 5 is fun. 5 is easy because 5 has to end in a 0 or a 5 in order for the 5 to divide evenly into a number. So if you see a 0 or a 5 at the end of the numerator or the denominator, you know 5 is a factor. 5 will divide evenly into both of those numbers. 0 or 5, 5, 5, 5. 0 or 5, 5, 5, 5. It's very easy. 3 is a little tricky, but let me show you. 3, the rule says if the sum of the digits can divide evenly by 3, then the whole number can be divisible by 3. What exactly does that mean? Let me erase this. What if I had, let's say, oh, this is a tricky one. 51. Everybody thinks 51 is a prime number, and it is not. It has more than 2 factors. Remember, a prime number only has 1 in itself for factors. Well, 51 has 3 factors. So it's what? You remember? Composite. Very good. How did I know that? Well, I said to myself, well, let me add these digits up. 5 plus 1 is 6. Is 6 divisible by 3? Can 3 divide evenly into 6? Is 3 a factor of 51? And the answer is yes. And let me show you. If I divided by 3, I gotta go this way. If I divided by 3, you know I would have to say 3 into 5 once, subtract, bring down the 1, 3 into 21, 7. So the factors of 51 are 3 and 17. Those two numbers can divide evenly into 51. So if I had something like this, 3 over 51, and I said to you, can you reduce that? And you said, well, wait a minute. 3, let's see if 3 will divide into 51. 5 plus 1 is 6. 3 can divide into 6 evenly? Yes, it can divide into 51 evenly. So that's why I need to then divide the numerator and the denominator by 3. 3 into 3 once, 3 into 51, 17. It is now reduced to lowest terms. It is also simplified. That's the rule. The last one to ask yourself is number 7. And sorry, I don't have a trick for that. You just try it. So remember to use these rules to reduce, simplify, or to bring your fractions down to lowest terms. All of these lessons are preparing us for more challenging lessons that are to come. Remember, you can do it. We are exploring math together. So come on down to the Erie Canal. Come on down and play the piano. And don't forget to reduce your fractions. Always, always reduce your fractions. See you next time. Trek with me. Bye-bye.